The New York Liberty defeated the Las Vegas Aces over the weekend, eliminating them from the WNBA playoffs and serving them the piece of humble pie that team so rightfully deserved. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita and welcome to the Courtside Club. As you can see, I am back in the studio, so hopefully you guys don't mind the change in backdrop, and definitely let me know in the comments below what you think of my setup. So jumping straight into today's video, the New York Liberty defeated the Las Vegas Aces. We have talked about the Aces in previous videos and how their team was riddled with so much drama this season. But what I wasn't so aware of was all the drama that went down last season between the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces. And you guys, some of this stuff is wild. It all started last season when the Las Vegas Aces defeated the New York Liberty in the WNBA Finals, and Kelsey Plum had this to say in her post-game presser. She said, as much as they're a team, they're not a team. They're really good individual players, but they don't care about each other, and you can tell in those moments. After the win on Sunday, New York Liberty player Breanna Stewart was asked about the emotional nature of this series, and here's what she had to say. My mentality today was to go in and get this win for my wife and her dad. She said, I have receipts on the things that were said. The entire team does. So around the time of the WNBA Finals last season, Breanna Stewart's father-in-law passed away, and she didn't play very well in the game following, and her wife was also pregnant at the time, so it's safe to say that their family was going through a lot. So even after the Aces beat the Liberty, they were still talking smack, and Becky Hammon even mocked Breanna Stewart's shooting percentage. So here is what Becky Hammon said at their championship celebration.
3 for 17 is you need to talk about it.
So I am all for trash talk. I think it adds an element to the game. We see it so much in the men's game, but we don't see it so much after a team beats another team unless that team was talking a lot of smack. And so this here, and we also don't hear it that much from a coach. And Becky Hammon said this unprovoked. Breanna Stewart wasn't really running her mouth much during the finals last season. On top of the fact that she was dealing with personal issues at the time, you can see why this just isn't the greatest look. Think about if an NBA coach, let's say if it was like JJ Redick on the Lakers or something, right? So JJ Redick comes out after the Lakers beat Denver and goes 3 for 17 if Jokic had a bad game or something. That's a scenario that we haven't seen happen, and I feel like that would be all over the headlines. And it also creates a target on your back when you say things like that. So Breanna Stewart said it herself. She's like, our whole team has receipts of the things that the Aces said and did to us last season. So fast forward back to this year's playoffs. On Sunday, after they lost, Becky Hammon was asked about the trash talk between these two teams, and here's what she had to say.
Something you said about talking a lot of trash last year. Stewie kind of alluded
Can we
to
not
that.
circle back on it?
Well,
I think it's circling well enough right now.
But is there anything you want to address about maybe anything you said or like what you heard the team said that you feel like needs to be addressed, or was maybe?
No, I mean, we talked our crap. They heard it, and they get to talk their crap. It's part of the game. It's not like personal. I can talk crap all I want. At the end of the day, I have mad respect for Sandy. Sandy coached me. Me and Sandy go way back. Saab, Stewie, I have mad respect for those players. There's no doubt about it. It may seem like I have something, but it's like, of course I'm always going to ride with Asia, so it maybe seems. I think Stewie is phenomenal.
I'm going to give Becky Hammon some credit here because she did take a tiny ounce of accountability here when, as we talked about in previous press conferences where she has thrown her team completely under the bus and basically said that they were distracted and that was the reason that the team wasn't winning. Here she said, you know, we talked crap, now they get to talk their crap. However, did the Aces cross the line here in their smack talk? Breanna Stewart was clearly going through things, and to call her out after, when I feel like most teams, when they win a championship or when they win anything, their first move is to celebrate their own team and talk about their victories. And normally they'll say something like, this team fought hard, whatever. But there was clearly some bad blood between these teams. I don't know who started it, but it seems like the Liberty kind of took the high road through it all, and the Aces were the ones that were continually like trying to press those buttons, which I will say, if the Aces want to take on that role as like the villain era team in the WNBA, go for it. Just know that there's going to be a lot of backlash on the other side if you don't continue to win. However, what I did think was kind of funny was the fact that after the team lost, Becky Hammon went on Twitter and did a blocking spree. She blocked a ton of people on Twitter, and a lot of people were even saying that they've never even tweeted about Becky Hammon, so they didn't even know why she blocked them. This actually came to my attention from this YouTuber, Mick. He covers the WNBA. He does a great job, and his tweet came across my For You page where he showed that Becky Hammon had blocked him, and then when I looked further, there were so many people tweeting out that she had blocked them. So I don't know what she did, if she like actively went on Twitter and was like searching for people who weren't fans of the Aces, but I feel like this season there is like diehard Aces fans, and then there's a lot of Aces haters because they have become a polarizing team. I think that that's fair to say, but I don't know what she was doing here, and that's how she was spending her time after the team lost, was like blocking random people on Twitter. To keep it light, I thought that that was strange. One account she should have blocked, though, is the New York Liberty, because they put out the most savage tweet after the game. They said, "Clears throw, you're," and then they had a photo of some Tims on the Las Vegas Aces logo. Now, this is in reference, if you guys remember, when all of the players were wearing A'ja Wilson jerseys and Tims to the game. The entire Aces team did this except A'ja Wilson, and it was said to be that they were boycotting the fact that A'ja did not win Defensive Player of the Year, so they were all in support of her. They also tweeted some other memes that I thought were just funny. Like, this is what NBA and WNBA Twitter is, and I have felt like this entire season, there are some things that, yes, we do have to take seriously, but there are other things when it comes to sports. Like, we have to, as fans, as media, as players, lighten up a little bit. Not every criticism of a player is said because we just dislike that player or that person. Like, you should be able to criticize players, to make jokes about players. Like, do you know how many jokes are made about LeBron daily, who is one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball? Like, here's a joke that I actually retweeted because I thought it was hilarious, but I also know if this was WNBA Twitter, the whole app would explode and I would be canceled and all of the bad things would be said. But this I thought was so funny. Somebody tweeted out, "Who's beating this team 4 times?" and they showed the Lakers starting lineup. And then somebody replied and said, "You say this every year, and every year we get smacked up by an overweight horse enthusiast from Serbia." And this tweet has over 135,000 likes. Like, that's funny. That's hilarious. And I like Nicole Jokic. Like, but that's hilarious. And I retweeted it. And I feel like that's totally okay to do. But you're seeing a lot of tweets going around now about A'ja Wilson because she did this ad with Nike where it says winning isn't for everyone. Now people are using the winning isn't for everyone as a meme to kind of mock A'ja, but it's like all in good spirits. But the replies to people who are sharing that, there are people saying like, "Oh, you're racist," or "Oh, you're just a hater." Like, this is internalized misogyny. Like, what? It's sport. Like, this is what we do. And once you get to the big leagues where there's a lot of people who are paying attention, like, these are the kind of things that are going to be going around online. Yes, maybe there's a thin line between like saying stuff that's super personal or knocking someone when they're down, where I felt like this is what the Aces team did to Breanna Stewart. That's a point where we can be like, okay, this is a bit disrespectful. We shouldn't say these kind of things. But on the other side, we're making light jokes about A'ja, who was unanimous MVP, which, by the way, is the first unanimous MVP in the NBA or the WNBA to ever not make the finals, which is something else. Fans are gonna they're gonna share that. It does not mean that we are misogynistic or racist or we're just hating on Asia. No, it's just this is what happens when a team loses, especially when a team loses that was talking so much smack and had so much drama that surrounded their team this season, some good, some really, really damning. And we've talked about that in other videos. So if you want to see all of the drama surrounding the Las Vegas Aces organization, then check out my video from last week. You guys know that Candace Parker is one of my favorite basketball players of all time, and I know her personally. I've played in celebrity games with her. She's amazing. She did an interview with Dwayne Wade, and this piece from the interview was circling, and I feel like she hits the nail on the head, and it's exactly what I was just talking about. So anyway, let's listen to it.
I'm big on, within the women's game of basketball, I don't think that there's enough scrutiny about our play. Hear me out. Okay. As a woman, because the game has been attacked so much by people sitting in their basement that can't dunk a donut, let alone a basketball, they're the ones that have driven the narrative that nobody watches women's sports. So many people have become protective of the game of basketball that they cannot take criticism, that nobody's allowed to criticize the game. But guess what? I want to criticize on the first morning show. Is D-Wade is he gonna get to the basket? Is he gonna get to the free throw line? Or is he gonna settle for the catch and shoot, which is what the Spurs want y'all to do? Right? But you can't do that in the women's game.
And I feel like she hits the nail on the head here. There is a level of sensitivity with fandom, with players, not all players, with some players, and with the media to talking about the women's game. And I feel like if we have any sort of criticism about any player, we have to preface it with being like, oh, but I think they're great, but this. No one is immune to criticism, and that goes for even people like me, even people in the media. You guys should be able to criticize what I'm doing. And trust me, you guys, I have been memed. I see the replies. When I say stuff about the NBA and I make takes about the NBA that people don't agree with, and it could be the best take in the world, and my comments are flooded with people like saying I'm an idiot, saying it's this, circling back if I made a wrong thing. Like, that's okay. Like, that's all in the nature of the media, of this business, of whatever. And I feel like that is what Candace is saying here. And Candace is somebody who, to me, feels like she has the thickest skin and she's so confident in herself as well. She had an incredible WNBA career. But we do have to get past this point where if somebody says something that you're not a fan of, or if somebody criticizes one of your favorite players, we have to be able to look at it through a lens that's just not, we don't just go straight to name calling this person or calling them misogynistic or calling them whatever it is. You have to allow for some debate and allow for some criticism, because honestly, you guys, the debate, the criticism, the trash talk, the pulling up receipts, all of these things adds to the entertainment value that is sports. And that is honestly, at the end of the day, the most important thing, and it keeps people locked in. So I know this video has kind of jumped around, but I wanted to get to kind of the deeper meaning of all of this. So the Aces won. I think that there are some things that they did last season that borderline, they crossed the line of being disrespectful, but they talked a lot of trash and they got humbled. And I think that that's okay. That is sports. That is what we live for in sports. And us in the WNBA community and the NBA community, all of this need to get a little bit thicker skin and not be so quick to ostracize people who are just trying to chime in and trying to, create healthy debates, create conversations around sports and around the issues, the topics, all of the things that are also on the outskirts of sports. I, for one, am happy to see the New York Liberty make it to the finals, and I truly hope that the Minnesota Lynx finish off the Sun and they are there as well. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. Of course, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And guys, we upload short form videos on the Courtside Club Instagram, and we are getting a ton of views over there, but we haven't even cracked 10,000 followers yet. So if you guys are on Instagram, definitely go check out the Courtside Club Instagram. My personal Instagram, I post like photos and things and sometimes Courtside Club stuff. But if you want to see more Courtside Club content, make sure that you go follow that Instagram. I would love for us to get 10,000 followers. I feel like it's deserved at this point. But anyway, thank you guys once again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ooh,